Hey, what's up guys? So in this video, we're going to take a look at all the different ways that you can get your Escort radar detector connected to the cloud to add some additional cloud-based features such as real-time alerts shared between different drivers, as well as getting your speed limit display showing up on the face of the detector. Now, when it comes to getting your detector connected to the cloud, you can give it an internet connection either through your phone over Bluetooth or via a dedicated Wi-Fi hotspot. Now, in order for this to work, you're going to need a detector with, Bluetooth capabilities, first of all, which is most of Escort's current lineup. And I've got a video going over all of Escort's current detectors, which you can check out. And then if you want a detector which can connect to a Wi-Fi hotspot, you're going to want to look for a detector that actually has the letter C at the end of the name. That'll let you know that it's a connected detector and that it has Wi-Fi built in. Now, a quick note, most of Escort's detectors only support 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi. It's only the MaxCam 360C that supports the newer and faster 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi. So if you're looking to connect to a hotspot that only supports 5 gigahertz, only the MaxCam is going to be compatible. The other detectors aren't going to work with it, so just something to be aware of. Anyways, with that said, let's go ahead and take a look at all the different ways to get this cloud connectivity set up. So the traditional way to do this is going to be over Bluetooth. All of these cloud-connected detectors are going to have Bluetooth available, and so you're going to be able to connect your detector to your phone and then run the app Escort Live, which is going to allow you to first off change different settings in your detectors, which is a lot more convenient than actually going into the detector manually. But then as far as your cloud-based features, it's going to be able to connect to the cloud over your phone's internet connection to give you your cloud alerts and your speed limit display. Now, the next way to do this is if you have a Wi-Fi hotspot built directly into your car. This is my preferred method of getting the connectivity capabilities because I actually find it sometimes to be a little bit smoother than relying on an app, and sometimes you may run into issues with the app being backgrounded or maybe it doesn't reconnect automatically every time you get in your car. I do find the Wi-Fi to actually work more reliably. Now, the nice thing about having a dedicated Wi-Fi hotspot as well is you also get some additional features, namely remote firmware updates and red light camera database updates, meaning while you're in the car as you're driving around, if there happens to be a new firmware update available for your detector to add new features or fix bugs, the detector will notify you and you can actually update your detector right from your car, which is more convenient than taking the detector home and plugging it into your computer and updating that way. And so that's a pretty cool feature, again, for the added convenience. There's also going to be the ability to update the red light camera database over the air, which is pretty cool. There's going to be a separate red light camera database that's built directly into the detector, and that's what you're going to be updating over the air. Anytime you're connected to the cloud, whether it's over Bluetooth or Wi-Fi, it's always going to be going and checking for the latest red light camera database. This update capability is specifically to update the database that's built directly into the detector, which is useful for times when your detector is not connected to the cloud. And so, again, connected over to Wi-Fi, you'll get all the same features as far as cloud connectivity, plus the additional firmware updates and remote red light camera database updates. Now, in order to make this happen, again, you're going to want a dedicated Wi-Fi hotspot in your car, and this is going to be the best way to go. Now, there's also a couple other ways to get the Wi-Fi connectivity features if you don't have a dedicated hotspot available in your car. First off, let's say you've got Wi-Fi at home, and every time you pull up to your garage or something, your detector can connect to the cloud and get the firmware updates. That's a way, if you're willing to sit in your car for like 5-10 minutes or something, you can get the updates pushed to your detector that way. Again, it's not going to work while you're driving, but it's a way to let you know that there's an update available and you can do it right from your car. The update is actually faster to do on your computer, but if you wanted to do it in the car, you can do that over Wi-Fi as well. And then finally, the last option, let's say you want Wi-Fi in the car while you're driving, but you don't have a hotspot available in the car, you can use your phone as a Wi-Fi hotspot for your detector to connect to instead of actually connecting over Bluetooth and then relying on the app. That said, it is a little bit more of a workaround to actually get it set up, and you're going to have to make sure that the Wi-Fi hotspot is activated every time you get back in the car. Now, the reason why this is a little bit goofy to set up is because if you activate a Wi-Fi hotspot on your phone, when you're also running the Escort Live app, you can't tell your detector to connect to the Wi-Fi hotspot that your phone is creating. The phone is intended to connect to a separate Wi-Fi hotspot and then tell the detector to connect to that hotspot. So again, the workaround is to have not one, but two phones. So you're going to have your main phone that you're going to have always with you. Go ahead and turn on the tethering capabilities to activate its Wi-Fi hotspot. Then you're going to have a second phone, which is going to be running Escort Live. That's going to connect to the detector. And then this phone is also going to be connected to this Wi-Fi hotspot from your first phone. It's going to tell your detector to connect to this hotspot from the phone. And then once that is set up, you're just going to take away the second phone and then just have the Wi-Fi hotspot running on your primary phone. It's a little bit of a goofy workaround because, again, you can't just have one phone and say, use this hotspot that I'm creating. You're going to need a second phone for it. But assuming you've got that set up, yes, you can actually have tethering enabled on your primary phone. You're going to want to make sure that you actually have the tethering enabled, of course, while you're driving. So whether that means just leaving it on all the time, whether it means manually turning it on when you get in the car, or having some sort of automation capabilities where every time you get back in the car, the tethering gets turned back on by itself. And so again, if you want the added Wi-Fi capabilities for the firmware updates and the red light camera database updates, you can do that with one phone, but you're going to have a second phone to actually get it set up. Plus, you have to make sure it's always turned on every time you get back in the car. And so just to quickly summarize, as far as the different ways that you can do this, number one, have a detector with Bluetooth and then just connect over your phone using Bluetooth and the Escort Live app. Number two, if you have a dedicated Wi-Fi hotspot in your car, you can set up the detector to connect directly to that and just bypass the phone altogether. Number three, if you park near a Wi-Fi hotspot, say at home or work, you can have the detector connect that way to let you know when there's an update and actually push the latest update directly into your detector while you're parked near your home and close enough to your home Wi-Fi. Fourth, if you want to use your phone as a Wi-Fi hotspot and not just rely on Bluetooth, you can do that so long as you have a second phone to actually help you create that pairing process initially, and you ensure that the Wi-Fi is activated on your phone every time you get back in the car. And so, yeah, for some additional information as far as which detectors support Bluetooth or which ones also support Wi-Fi, I'm going to have a list of all the different detectors for Bluetooth, for Wi-Fi, as well as for 2.4 and for 5 GHz Wi-Fi, and all that stuff broken down for you down in the video description. And so, yeah, that's it for now. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you're doing well, and I'll see you in the next video.